Barça.
Perfecte, Mario. Doncs després de la roda de premsa de Hansi Flick veiem ara mateix imatges precisament d'aquesta sessió d'entrenament en què Eric Garcia, a més, és una altra de les baixes. Clar, el partit de demà, entre el cop que es va endur Lewandowski en aquella acció amb Pau Navarro, Eric, que està sancionat, recordem, va veure la targeta vermella al partit d'anada, la baixa de Frenkie de Jong, són 3 titulars importants. Si faltava doncs encara més complicacions, el més difícil todavía, que deien al circ abans.
Yeah, they are blows, Llorenç, they are blows. The latest team news that we do have, Corledes, is that, of course, we know Christensen and Gavi won't make it. We know De Jong's got that long-term injury, but as Llorenç said, Eric Garcia sent off in the last 10-15 minutes of the first leg, won't be available. And Lewandowski, who has fractured an eye socket in that game against Villarreal on Saturday, looked like an obnoxious sort of play in the game. It has indeed meant that he's going to be missing this one. They are absences, they are big absences. I think De Jong, we've had to sort of accept a few days ago now. Eric Garcia, I do think it will certainly hurt us because he's going to help bring the ball out the back and really push Atleti in, also in terms of winning the ball back on halfway. Lewandowski's a big absence for me, Llorenç. I think if you're looking to get goals, and we don't know if he would have started or not, we don't know what Hansi Flick was thinking, Ferran or Lewandowski in the number 9, but say you are 2-0 up or 3-1 up in the 70th minute, to have a Lewandowski off the bench or even a Ferran off the bench, now one of them, well, Ferran's going to have to play and likely play the whole game if you want goals. So it's a loss for Hansi Flick, and it's a big player who he'll be, unhappy to have lost out on for such an important clash.
Sí, aquesta baixa de Lewandowski és important perquè, a més, segurament el guió de partit que esperem és un Atlético més tancat, sense deixar tants espais, que segurament en aquest tipus seria el partit per Ferran. Per Lewandowski, segurament amb un rival tancat on puguis tenir opcions de rematada sense haver de sortir tant de la zona d'influència, segurament Lewandowski és ideal. Però bé, haurà de ser Ferran, recordem, segon màxim golejador de la plantilla i confiança absoluta en el tiburon. Mira, deixa'm-la, en el tiburon. El tiburon, evidentment, demà tindrà la seva oportunitat. Crec que és un partit molt gran també per la parella Lamine-Rafinha. Crec que tots dos han de ser protagonistes. Veurem Marcus Rashford. No veig a Rashford de nou. El veig més escurat a banda, que és on s'està sentint més còmode, però també pot ser una opció, o fins i tot l'aposta de Dani Olmo en la posició de fals 9 podria ser una altra opció.
Yeah, he's got options, Hansi Flick. He certainly does. I think what we're all expecting is probably Rafinha, Ferran, Lamine, with Rashford to come off the bench, but we don't know how he goes. He might want to throw everything at this and even get all 4 of them in together at certain points. We'll have to see how Flick elects to go at things. Or as you said, Llorenç, there is that little, sneaky option of Olmo as the false 9, just to maybe catch Atleti out a little bit. We'll have to wait and see how he goes with that one, but I agree with you. I think on these sorts of nights, I think you need a bit of luck, you need things to go your way. I think you need your top players to be at the very top of their game. We saw Lamine on Saturday, unbelievable. Amazing. So if he can play anything like that on Tuesday night, I think we'll be in luck. Rafinha, for me, needs one of his best games in a Barça shirt. It's one of those games, isn't it, where when we saw some of the remontadas from a few seasons ago. You do need a lot to go your way, and I think for me, you need your best players on the highest level. Rafinha, I'm looking at from minute 1 tomorrow. What can you bring us? Lamine, I'm thinking the same stuff. And we need Ferran to be clinical in the final third, but those providing passes from deep to Olmo, Fermín, goals from midfield, we need all of them firing in the same direction, Llorenç. We need all of them on top form.
I tant que sí. Estem veient imatges d'aquesta sessió, com dèiem, matinal, que avui s'ha celebrat a la ciutat esportiva, al Camp Tito Vilanova. La bona notícia, no jugarà demà, però evidentment tenir-lo aquí un dia més és una bona notícia. Gavi, aquí veiem ja cada vegada més integrat al grup, i per tant aquesta és una excel·lent notícia, com ho va ser fa uns dies el retorn de Pedri, com ho va ser també una mica més enrere el retorn de Rafinha. Òbviament, ara venen unes setmanes apassionants. De fet, mira, en els propers 7 dies el Barça es juga la seva classificació per la final de Copa, es juga a defensar el liderat a la Lliga davant del Real Madrid, recordem, el dissabte vinent partit a Sant Mamés, i dimarts següent es juguen els 8ens de final l'anada d'aquesta eliminatòria contra el Newcastle, una eliminatòria que es disputarà en 2 setmanes consecutives. Per tant, òbviament, Eric Garcia és només un partit per sanció, els que no hi seran, perdó, serà Robert Lewandowski i Frenkie de Jong. Veurem Robert Lewandowski si a priori han de ser pocs partits els que es perdi el davanter polonès.
Yeah, it's a vital month of March, Udence, and
Sí.
this is when it gets a bit nervous, you know, a bit nerve-wracking in this month, because like you say, you are playing for everything. Everything's on the line, you know.
You play everything. Aquesta frase va per Eric Garcia,
Sí.
que demà es perdrà el
Sí, sí.
primer partit de la temporada. Ell l'altre dia, postpartit del Villarreal, ho deia.
Sí.
Quin moment caso amb l'olla per anar a perdre amb el primer partit. Ha jugat tots els partits d'aquesta temporada, Eric Garcia, que en total, comptant els de la temporada passada, sumava 59 partits de forma consecutiva. Un Eric Garcia que està sent, per mi, et diria, un dels millors jugadors de la temporada.
100%. I mean, that's what makes his absence even bigger tomorrow, Udence, Eddie Garcia. I mean, 59 games in a row, you said, yeah? That he's been
59.
He's participated in. Incredible statistic. And
most of them
as a starter, yeah?
Yeah, as a starter.
Yeah, most of them as a starter. I mean, and how good he's been in that moment too. Look, Flick will be gutted. Flick will be very upset that he's not going to be available tomorrow. And I saw Eric speak to you and he said, yeah, I can't believe it's the one I'm missing. I would have loved to have been there. Sometimes that's the way football goes. And Barça are going to have to, you know, whether it's Araujo or Gerard Martin, I'm not sure how Flick will decide to fill that gap. It's a decision he has to make.
We'll see. Potser Araujo és partit perquè el Barça en alguns moments anirà molt endavant i necessitarem un corrector. Segurament Araujo, més ràpid que Gerard Martín, pot tenir la seva oportunitat. Jo crec que Valde i Koundé són fixes en aquestes posicions de laterals. Mig del camp veurem, perquè sense Frenkie de Jong, Pedri sortirà d'inici segur. Dani Olmo, Fermín, però potser aposta per Marc Bernal per donar una mica d'equilibri. Té opcions, Hansi, té opcions. Jo sóc l'Atlètic de Madrid i veig aquest rondo i dic, compte, que aquí queda Lamine, que queda Pedri, que queda Rashford, que queda Ferran. Seria molt important, com tu dius, que els top players tinguin el seu millor dia, i això implica que la primera que tingui Ferran, per exemple, recordo aquella al camp del Chelsea, com hauria canviat aquell partit, no? Si Ferran marca aquella ocasió que vam tenir amb 0-0. Si demà el Barça és capaç de marcar aviat, de posar pressió al rival, l'Atlético, ho deia el Mario Robert, no arriba en el millor moment de la temporada. Segurament ha aparcat tot per aquesta eliminatòria, perquè des del partit del 4-0 al Metropolitano ha jugat molt malament. Però segurament és que té el cap aquí. Simeone necessita un títol. Simeone necessita un títol, ja no té més excuses, no excuses. I aquesta és la seva gran opció.
100%. I think we've seen that. To be fair, they got the job done against Bruges, didn't they? In the Champions League, so they've got that in the bag. They're into the round of 16, but they suffered in that second leg. Even Juventus, I know they got 3 goals in the second half of that one, so they managed to get through in the Champions League. But it wasn't easy. The game away from home. I mean, they conceded 3 goals in that game to Bruges. I know we did the same thing, same result actually, 3-3. But they struggled there. They got beaten badly by Rayo, didn't they? I know they beat Oviedo in the last minute over the weekend. What I would say, Llorens, is they have been resting in La Liga. They have been rotating heavily, and they've got the squad to do that. That's what you would say. This is a very deep squad with a lot of attacking options, and in that regard, you know, they'll feel confident because Simeone has options off the bench. He certainly does. For Barça, I mean, decisions are there to be made. I think centre-back's a big decision. Whether Flick goes for more control in midfield with Bernal and Pedri and then one of Fermin or Olmo. Maybe he thinks, no, I need everyone up there. I'm going to throw Fermin and Olmo on at the same time. I feel that could maybe be a bit risky if we're just having Pedri as the holding midfielder. I'd maybe rather someone like a Bernal in there to keep turning over possession for us. And I know that Gerard Martin was suspended on the weekend, so he couldn't have played anyway. But I think the fact that we saw Araujo for quite a few minutes next to Cubarsí in the last 20-25 minutes of the game could be quite indicative of what we're going to see on Tuesday night, just maybe warming up that partnership together. I wonder if that's what Hansi Flick was trying to do with that one. It could be something he was trying.
Let me speak. Your Max said, my boy, Lamine Yamal, gonna score a hat-trick.
Home, això ho esperem, no?
T'imagines? L'exhibició de l'altre dia de Lamine, jo crec que, i ell el que va dir després del partit, es troba en el millor moment, no té molèsties, es troba amb confiança, així com el dia del Llevant segurament no li havia sortit un bon partit, l'altre dia li va sortir absolutament tot. s'ha de confiar en que això, Lamine pugui tenir el seu dia novament. Rafinha enganxi un parell de contres d'aquelles a ritme vertiginós i pugui marcar. L'altre dia contra el Villarreal el Barça arriba pràcticament a la mitja hora sense haver marcat.
Sí.
I acaba marcant 4 gols. Per tant, tampoc no hi ha pressa. No hi ha pressa.
Yeah, we have to be calm, Llorens. We really do. These games, I think, are almost, more important mentally than anything else. I really mean that, because what Barça cannot do is panic. They really can't panic. They have to accept that, there'll be moments in the game where we're going to have to do some defending. Atleti are still going to have chances. Like you said, calm. Stay calm. We, in my opinion, could be 1-0 up in the 60th minute, for example, 70th minute even, and still get this done. The team needs to remain calm mentally. They have to. One of the best pieces of news for me, Llorens, is Lamine Yamal, like you said. I thought he was unbelievable on Saturday. One of the best we've seen individually from him. Those types of games where he wakes up and goes, I'm going to decide this one on my own. And Pedri off the bench. My God, man. I mean, I know the third goal was them together combining the pass, the finish. It was superb. But his impact off the bench, we were 2-1 up in that game. And I was thinking, which way is this going to go? Villarreal didn't have a sniff after Pedri came on. Absolutely controlled the rhythm of the game. He really did. Dictated play, got the assist for the third goal. Utterly dominated things. Has to be a big worry for Atleti, his form and his importance. A player who wasn't there in the first leg, of course.
Adam Lavaran diu, I'm just worried about the referees and the VAR. Me too. Me too. Mira, el que va passar al partit d'anada. Clar, com arribaríem a aquest partit de tornades si aquell gol de Pau Garcia hagués entrat, si no s'hagués trencat el ritme de partit com es va trencar el Metropolitano. Però les coses s'han de dir. L'Atlético la primera meitat va ser molt superior i hauria pogut marcar més gols, clarament. Va tenir sort en el primer, amb aquella acció en què Eric assisteix a Joan Garcia, la pilota fa un estrany i acaba dins, però van tenir opcions per marcar més de 4 gols. De tota manera, quin Atlético, quin Simeone's plan veurem, perquè dubto que vagi a buscar gaire el Barça. Jo el veig fent d'Atlético dels vells temps, ben tancadet i esperar alguna contra.
Yeah, and that could be an error, by the way, Llorens. But I think it's an error that Simeone has committed throughout his career. A coach I admire a lot, but I do think that, I've watched a lot of Atletico in Champions League ties, for example, in cup ties, and I do think they need to be careful. We hope that they commit the same errors tomorrow. They need to be careful in not sitting too deep. I think if they sit too deep and don't let it come out, we'll suffocate them. We will, because we've got players to win the ball back. If you've got a Bernal in midfield, Cubarsí is very good at anticipating the ball and intercepting. I think they've got to be careful not to sit too deep. I agree with you, though. I think with a 4-0 lead, I don't think Simeone will allow himself to allow his Atleti team to play too advanced. Because if they play too advanced and leave spaces and Barça score, he'll be pulling his hair out, So I think he will be first and foremost going, no. We need to tighten up defensively, make sure nothing gets through, and then if we can counter-attack, we can counter-attack. But I imagine we're going to see, and I agree with you, Llorens, a very deep Atletico, which, in my opinion, works well for us. I think so.
Estic començant a creure, Pablo. Stop, perquè m'estic enamorant. I'm falling in love amb aquesta remuntada. T'imagines que poguéssim aixecar aquest 4-0 i tornar a la final de Sevilla? Recordem que juga demà passat l'altra semifinal, que és l'Atlètic Club Reial Societat, al camp del conjunt Xuriurdin, que va guanyar a domicili 0-1 al partit d'anada. Per tant, ara mateix Real Societat i Atlético ho tenen en avantatge. Veurem què acaba passant i quins són els dos finalistes. Les imatges de l'entrenament, com veiem, aquí amb Gavi ja donant-ho tot, també Lamine somrient, Eric Garcia, que serà, com dèiem, una de les baixes, no hi serà tampoc Frenkie de Jong, no hi serà Andreas Christensen, no hi serà Gavi, no hi serà, qui més em deixo, Robert Lewandowski, efectivament, però la resta sí que hi seran, i també, evidentment, els gairebé 45.000 espectadors que podrem ser a l'estadi i empenyarem tots junts per intentar aquesta, no sé si dir miracle o aquesta heroïcitat.
Llorens, you'll be in the stadium tomorrow.
Yeah, I will.
That should be a good atmosphere, no? One of those special nights.
Mira, si el Barça remunta, no descarto fer l'avió allà darrere la porteria de Musso, segurament.
Sí, serà Musso, crec que sí.
El porter de la Copa, de l'Atlético. Home, seria una bogeria.
Yeah, if we come out tomorrow with you in the stadium, post-game on Barça Live is going to be unbelievable. Everyone tune in tomorrow, by the way, 8:30 p.m. local time here in Catalonia. You enter the stadium, me and Spencer. Bueno, toma, alerta, no?
Alerta, come back!
It could be our most special night under Hansi Flick if it happens, Llorenç.
I tant que sí, perquè jo crec que és un d'aquells dies que marquen la temporada si tu ets capaç. Òbviament, ho hem dit i ho reconeixem, és molt difícil, no és impossible. Alguns dels nostres espectadors, seguidors ho diuen aquí al xat del YouTube oficial del Barça. És molt difícil, però és que si passa realment et veus capaç de tot. Per cert, recordem que ara mateix el Barça a la Lliga és líder en 4 punts. Avui juga el Madrid. Estarem... No sé si Hansi veurà el partit o a les 11 dirà que ja és al llit. Potser li pregunten avui si veurà el partit de... Jo crec que estarà focus en demà.
Home, jo espero que sí. Will you be watching it?
I will.
Yeah?
Sí, perquè jo confio.
En serio? Avui sí?
Sí. M'estic tornant una mica somiatruites, perquè confio que avui hi pot haver-hi sorpreseta.
I que demà?
I que demà hi pot haver-hi remuntada.
I like this, Llorenç. I like it.
Firmes una dels dos? Sense saber quina?
Quina pregunta, wow.
Pregunta-li al xat, a veure què opina la gent al xat.
Llorenç has just asked me a really good question. So you've got two options in there. For Getafe to beat Madrid, and then us to come back against Atleti. Or draw, okay. And for us to make the comeback against Atleti without knowing which one you get, right? That's the game.
Without knowing which one.
Yeah. Would you sign for that? Would you sign for that? Wow, es que no sé si firmaría un 1-1 en el Coliseo.
Clar, el pitjor podria ser un empat i que tu guanyes demà 3-0 i no remuntes.
Això...
Però...
No sé.
També et dic una cosa, i en cas que malauradament hi pugui haver-hi remuntada, que confiem que sí, les sensacions són importants també. I el Barça demà jo crec que, més enllà de tot, ha de fer un bon partit.